peeps. Hello. I wanted to talk a little bit about healing, because it's kind of a buzzword almost. It's all about healing, and I mean, I think it really is. But, you know, I think there's a misconception. I certainly have it off and on, big time, that it always feels good. It always feels good to heal. And, it's always a relief, and it's always, I don't know, it lessens pain, it is revelation. And I think that's true, but it also hurts. If you cut yourself and it starts to heal, and for a while it feels almost worse, and then it's itchy and hot, and there are stages that we go through in the course of knitting things back together that's pretty uncomfortable. And on the other side of this crazy migraine thing, the pain of the migraine stopped, and I thought, bingo, back in business. And not at all. I mean, this really kicked the stuffing out of me. And I think when I stopped fighting that so much and just kind of gave in a little bit to the fact that I felt pretty depleted, I realized that that's, my energy was going toward healing. It sounds sort of duh, but, I was legit tired because I was recuperating from something. I was digging my way back, and actually beyond, when you make it, you're sort of, I think, a bit more balanced than when you went in. But it takes time, it takes energy, it's tiring, and I think that we can really help ourselves by not pushing too hard, by realizing that energy gets diverted toward that mending process, and it may inhibit us for a while from doing other things, or for, feeling zippity-doo-dah, because I'm not sure we're ever healed, but there are times when it just is the need for healing is really accelerated, and sometimes it hurts. It also involves, shadow work, facing what hurts you in order to heal it. And again, that sort of sounds trite, but I don't really think it's not. It's one of the hardest and most beneficial processes we go through, and it's a process. It's not a Shazam. It's not a thing that gets done and tied up in a bow. It's not neat and tidy. It can be very messy, and it can call up shame, it can call up fear, it can call up all this shadow stuff that we then, don't shrink from. And I say to myself all the time, I'm here for you, as I'm freaking out about something, or, physically sick, or whatever it is. I find myself just saying, don't worry, I've got your back. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for you. And I think it's maybe, I used to have panic attacks all the time. This was decades ago, but the major symptom was disassociation. I just felt like I was in a dream or a movie or something. And so it was a way of, I think, abandoning ship. Things got scary, things got stressful, and probably based on some much more dramatic earlier trauma, a part of me just booked it. with this disassociation, which is terrifying, but somehow adaptive. Your child self, it was a way to disappear when things got scary. So here we have a bunch. We're just going to lay them out. Healing sometimes hurts. Knight of Cups. Two of Wands. Eight of Cups. Hangman. Queen of Pentacles. And we need one more just to complete this hexagram. Ace of Wands. Got that yesterday, big time. So there's a feelings are on the move. Knight of Cups. At a crossroads. Two of Wands. A decision needs to be made. In Wands energy, what am I passionate about? What is my intuition telling me? It's tapping into your fire energy. It's not what is my brain saying I should do. It's not necessarily the safe road or the easy road, but it's something that requires you to use your own sort of internal compass to figure out which way to go. Eight of Cups. This can be a card of leaving something behind, perhaps things that used to be fulfilling, but that you've grown beyond. It can also be a card of return in that you're coming up through the water, through the feelings, to the surface. In the energy of the moon, same kind of dynamic. It's bringing things to the surface in Cups energy and water energy to do with who you love, who you're connected to, including yourself. It's coming to the surface where the sun can get to it. The sun can get to it. The sun can get to it. But you're going to make the decision which way to go. And I'm not sure Knight of Cups is you. But under Knight of Cups, we have Hangman, another big water energy, Pisces. The only major arcana on the board. This is a card of non-action, processing feelings, seeing things from a different perspective on the basis of something you've figured out about your feelings. And figured out isn't quite right, because that implies this kind of mental, like gnawing on something. This is not that. This is a quiet suspension. In order to be enlightened, it's passive. It's not like going out in search. This is a little bit like going out in search, but this is the archetypal state of, processing feelings while you're in stillness, while you're in a chrysalis state, while you're not out jumping around, you're upside down, in suspension, in a very good cause. Queen of Pentacles, somebody very grounded and real and authentic, who shows up and who gives about what happens to anybody in her environment, in her inner circle, which can be quite large. But there's great attention and investment in the people around her. This is that passionate new beginning. Whatever direction is chosen, one of these wands will bear great fruit, great warmth, great. It's like the fire that lasts all night. You know, so you wake up in the morning and the room is still warm. There's that residual warmth because this thing is so bright. Okay, what is this thing, please, Spirit? Ace of Wands. If we get a whole bunch, we're just going to clarify it straight through. We got Nine of Wands, Devil. Wow. Wow. Devil card can be a card of codependence, of being stuck in a relationship, or stuck in a dynamic within yourself, feeling addicted to something. I can't live without this, whatever it is, person or situation or substance or way of life, an old pattern. And the truth is, it's not giving you strength to carry on. It's sapping your energy, whatever this is. And I always see Devil card as the ability to work with that energy. You know, to identify what it is and work to free yourself. But that's clarifying. Ace of Wands, it's a new beginning. Okay, there's one more here. Ace of Swords. Let's deal with this one first. This came out with Devil, clarifying Ace of Wands, Nine of Wands. This is the one who has hung in, has survived, has a great power as a result, a personal power. Nine speak to the personal. You know, they're a little bit like Hangman with the illuminated head, but they've come through it already, and it's given them personal power and a kind of high intuition, Wands energy. They know shit from Shinola is what I'm hearing. So if you've come through a devil energy situation of being stuck so badly it's draining your energy, and you've survived it, that's given you power. The power that used to be funneled off. It's almost like I had a friend who adopted a cat from the vet, this tiny little adult cat, but, dinky. She was their transfusion cat. They kept her around to transfuse other cats. And I guess she saved a lot of lives. But my friend said, no, I want that one. I'm taking her home. He named her Minnie because she was so small. And as she healed and was in his good care, she went from this tiny cat to a rather robust, Rubenesque lady. This is a little bit like you've been a transfusion cat. You opened a vein for something that you thought was going to give you what you wanted, would ground you and make you feel safe. And this is like a smothering safeness. This is no birth. This is stillborn. If you could find an energy, a card most opposite stillborn, this is what it would be. This is like the life force, and it's not a spark of life. It's a brilliance. I keep getting, we keep getting this card, and I don't even find words for it. But I mean, if you look at it, you can sort of see. life force, the light in the dark. The light in the dark. Devil is a dark energy, not in the sense of, the boogeyman. All right, there's one more here. The boogeyman, devil as we usually think of devil. It's not that. It's an attachment that leaves you in the dark. It's like no birth. It's stillbirth. Never coming into the light. Not only coming into the light, embodying the light. This new beginning life force energy is yours. Ace can speak to the personal. So, good on you in that wand's energy. The thing this person has come through with is personal power. The wand in their hand, there it is. The personal power. 9 speak to personal. Aces speak to personal. This is a well done, you made it energy. Something has brought you back to life, out of the darkness into the light. Wand's energy. Fire energy. Ace of Swords. On Hangman. Whatever this suspension time has brought you into alignment, that's another meaning of Ace of Swords. It's you, it's the personal, into alignment. And I think you've had to withdraw from a situation, probably something you cared very much about. Love was in the air. Love was on the move. And it still is. It's surfacing. It's resurfacing. On the basis of some processing you've done of how you feel. And that's given you this kind of bang, It lit up the world for you with some kind of understanding. Prince of Swords. The sword bearer, the one who, technically, Knight of Swords is the one who delivers the message, but I think this is somebody on the brink of it, who, somebody who's gotten it for themselves and now embodies it in a new way, in a youthful way. They've gained an understanding that they might not be ready entirely to act on, to move on, as it were. But there's been a lesson learned, a transformative lesson. Messenger birds. It's kind of the delivery system. I think there will be a truth given to you, and I don't know if it's by the universe or by somebody else or the universe working through somebody else. We're clarifying Knight of Cups, please. Love is on the way, love is on the move. 3 of Pentacles. A cooperative 3D energy, wanting to work with someone. Love is on the move, wants to show it, reveal it. Demonstrate it. And there's something here about the turtle coming out of its shell. I had a friend who once said to me, she had started what ended up being a very special and long-term love relationship with somebody. And she said, it all began because for the first time in my life, I felt brave enough to open up to somebody that I really wanted, that I just felt was miles beyond me. But whatever it was between us, it pulled me out of my shyness. There's something like that here, being pulled out of your shyness. Love is on the move. Somebody, I think, wants to work with you in the realm of feelings, in Cups energy, love energy. Okay, another one on the 3, 7 of Pentacles. This is the harvest time, which we're just coming into now, right? You know, being able to reap the benefits of your hard work and effort. You've done the work, and now the work is just to reap the benefits, to gather the harvest, to 3 of Pentacles plus 7 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. This person, Knight of Cups, love is on the move person who wants to work with you. Because Pentacles speak to time. So I think it's sort of like we're ripe now. It's time to, gather in the fruits of our labor, which has to do with love, which has to do with feelings. And if love was suspended, if feelings in general were kind of put on hold, or that's not quite right, there was something there to discover about yourself that you couldn't do in the throes of the relationship, and you were looking for an enlightenment about how to feel and what to feel and who to feel for and what's a boundary, you figured something out here. You learned the lesson, and you're now implementing it, taking action on it. I think Hangman is you, and also Queen of Pentacles. The caring one, the one who could 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, cooperate with somebody else that they care about deeply. That, remember I was saying something about the inner circle may be big? In this case, I don't think it's real big. I think it's 3 of Pentacles, quite intimate. She's the giver. She's also the grower, the nurturer, the one who would create an environment of 10 of Pentacles, where everybody's needs are met. It's the opposite of a selfish energy, but it's also not like, I'll open the vein for you. Queen of Pentacles cares for herself and her environment, and that's not about, this is a card can be of sacrifice. But Queen of Pentacles is not about sacrifice in the traditional sense, or in the worst sense of the word, where you're just ready to destroy yourself in the belief that it'll save somebody else. That's not it. One on Queen, 5 of Cups. Well, this is taking an emotional hit and still feeling depleted by it. But we have that rainbow image again. Emotions are surfacing. And the first one out of the gate may be sadness. Part of the healing I was talking about before, when you're actually moving toward the light. 2 of Wands, fire energy. Which way do I go? Toward the light. Like, follow the light. If you were in a tunnel and there was, it's an indication of the way out. This is when you're done processing your feelings. You'll be able to turn around and recognize that there's still not only potential for Two of Cups, it's almost unavoidable, you know. The connection will happen to you. Will happen to you. You'll come to the surface. I'm getting like popped, it's like the cork that can't be kept under any longer. That was on Queen of Pentacles. So it's a sadness, but it's paired with great stability and with the possibility of real connection. And like I say, I keep hearing it's not just a possibility. Now, I'm not saying that the one perhaps you've been tied to or fixated on or stuck on or somebody you opened a vein for, I don't think that's the same person. You know, you've been through it, popped out the other side. I keep getting that pop image, the cork, or the beach ball, you know, when you're in a pool and you're trying to hold the beach ball under and it goes poing. Nothing holds this down. There may be a period of mourning and sadness, and that's part of the healing. Because if you stuff the emotions, this is what happens. You may think you're safe, and I say you, any of us, including the person you're dealing with, that you may have held yourself back because you felt like they couldn't follow, so I'll stay. You know, that idea of self-sacrifice. I'll stay with them in this trap. You know, I'm the twin, I'll keep them company. This is an earth energy, and so is this. You know, whatever sadness this person has been through, and I think it's you, let's just call it you. Feel free to switch around the roles if it seems reversed. But this sadness gave you more stability. You're Queen of Pentacles. You know, you've found the difference between a codependency and the ability to care for someone while still caring for yourself. And again, it's this image of popping up. Like these parts of yourself, or you and somebody else that you're tied to, and it could be anybody, any relationship. You and a kid, your kid, you and one of your parents, you and the weight of family tradition. It's a heavy energy. It's an earth energy. You're coming out on top. I keep getting that, like popping to the surface. From this sort of amniotic, you know, it's just time. Pentacles speak to time. Time to be born. Ah, there's a good one. I think it's Bob Dylan. He who is not busy being born is busy dying. This is busy being born. Popping to the surface. Boop. Full of life. Out of this stasis. Because you've done the work. You've done the shadow work. And I think a big part of the shadow work was working through your sadness, but also accepting it. You know, if we can't feel the sadness, we can't feel the joy. And that sounds, I mean, so many, a cliche is a cliche because it has a basis in truth. So people say it over and over again till it just loses its meaning. But that's the meaning of this. You feel it all the way to the depths of your being, every cup emptied out. Cry it out. That kind of energy. That will give you a stability and ability to work with shadow, to find the path, Two of Wands, to bring the feelings to the surface. And the feelings that are coming to the surface are great anxiety. Nine of Swords. Moon. Another card of deep feelings, Cancer energy. And this can be fear. You know, it can be a archetypal fear of the unknown. Of a place in your psyche that is raw almost. Wide open, feeling-wise. So two cards, one of Pisces, one of Cancer, both speaking to taking the plunge, you know, like being submerged. And coming out aligned and lesson learned, sword in hand. But, you know, when the emotion comes to the surface, moon energy, it can be frightening, particularly to your brain. You know, there's a part in your heart that will feel great relief, able to come to the surface, you know, express something coming from the unconscious to the conscious. That's moon energy. It's also divine feminine, cyclical energy. You know, it's not as if we walk this path once. Again, a card of going away and return. There's something about that, you know, and you never return to exactly the same spot because time has passed. But I think this may scare you. Nines are personal. Your brain may go into a kind of frenzy of, like, remember I said panic attack? When I used to have panic attacks? You know, it's kind of the brain just in high gear and getting nowhere. It's freaking out. But there's some energy coming in for her that's not cerebral. It's moon energy. She's in bed. She's woken up from a bad dream. And behind her is this spider web. And butterflies appear to be caught in the web. This is a card of the unconscious, of what comes up out of the unconscious. This water creature, this repressed emotion, popping to the surface. Because this is in your head. It's basically in your head. And in terms of your deep, deep archetypal feelings, you're coming up for air. You're on the rise. Returning to the light. To the light, the light, the light keeps coming up in rainbow and a lot of fire energy. Two of Wands, Ace of Wands, Nine of Wands. Okay, we have a card of Pisces in Hangman. Capricorn in the Devil. And again, I said something in the beginning about the process. It's a process. Both of these are cards of process. of being willing to work with shadow, your devil energy, what holds you back, what you're not willing to acknowledge, either in your environment, in somebody else, in yourself. Because, you know, when you start to not acknowledge things and consign them to shadow, I won't look at that, you know, la 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 la, I won't hear it. It really can gum up the works. But working with it, processing shadow, processing feelings. It's all about the process. Processing fear. You know, nightmare feelings. But you get on top of them, again, that popping up image. You know, if you felt like, well, like I did recently, with just feeling like I'm recovering from having been, had the stuffing kicked out of me, just sort of wounded warrior energy, except in this case, it's galvanizing. It's igniting something new and fresh. But this is a kind of a dark night of the soul. Be with yourself through this. Don't disassociate. This is a little bit a card of disassociation. The brain just goes nuts. You know, where am I? Who am I? This is a nightmare. I don't feel like I'm in my body. I'm sort of vaporizing. Don't be afraid. Or be afraid. Because it will pass. It's sword energy. It's quick. And it's in your brain. It's not in the situation necessarily. And you're completely extricating yourself from something. The devil's work is never done, though. So when I say completely, but a lot of work has been done to free yourself. You know, from this kind of spider web snare of fear and anxiety about what's coming to the surface. Fear not. You're going into the light. You really are. You've made a decision. You've picked a path. That's it. I like this one. Boop, popping to the surface. Let me know in the comments if that idea resonates for you. I think it does for me, in that I can feel like I've been held underwater. And when I pop to the surface, there's light. There's this rainbow, transforming feeling energy to the point where it completely empowers you. Which isn't to say there isn't sadness ahead. You know, if there wasn't sadness ahead, there wouldn't be joy ahead. We'd be dead, basically. We'd be stillborn. This is a live birth. It's a live birth. You know, welcome to life with a spanking. Welcome to life. Till next time.